Hi everybody, this is a short weekend bonus video, so lucky you. I just want to talk about a couple things. I'm almost done with all of the intro letters and I will be by tomorrow. And you should see, there'll probably be a little dot up in your upper right hand corner. That means something's been graded, or you can go to assessment and grades and see my comments. And the more information you gave me, the more I can start doing my part of the job, right? So in these posts already, I may have already made a book recommendation or an article recommendation. If you're I told at least one actor to, hey, don't forget to check out the auditions for the spring show, which is in February, right? And so what's really neat is you tell me what you're interested in, and yes, academically I'm going to angle it in a way, and we'll get more into that later, because everybody did their 10th grade research paper, and we're going to make it a little bit more sophisticated than that so you get that experience, but it will be on a topic of your choice. And we've got some interesting stuff and a huge range of, personal interest, work interest, societal stuff, you name it. I think it's going to be very interesting, right? Also, a couple people have again mentioned keeping track of things, so I just want to show you something. There we go. Now, when I post, here was the first one. Some stuff super straightforward, right? Do Wednesday, boom, right there. And then do Sunday, things do get spread out. And there's a couple things you can do, right? I think the easiest is if you do not have your calendar open, right? Go ahead and open it, right? And you'll see a blue dot when something's due. And then right here in the upcoming events, you'll see, oh, what's that blue dot? Well, you have that post to do and you have this post to do. So if you're ever wondering, look in your calendar, look at those dots or look at upcoming addresses, and pretty much everything is posted here, right? And you're right, there's a lot of stuff there, but it's posted here and it's also posted here. Now, if you really like concrete stuff, what you can do is, and I recommend this if you're having a hard time, print screen, right? A lot of computers, you hit print screen and you can choose it. Mine's a little older. I actually used Tiny Take, and I'll have a link to you. But with this, I just put, capture a region, right? And then I might have to do this twice if there's a lot, right? I can capture it. I'll print this thing out, and then with a marker or a pen, cross off everything I do it. And so you can't get any more, safe than that, right? Print out a copy of our homepage, cross out stuff that you do. So those are, don't want to save it, get rid of you. Those are a couple different ways to make sure you're keeping track. I will have a reading list for This Way for the Gas. We're not going to read all the stories. Last semester I had everybody read all the stories, but I want to shorten our This Way to the Gas a little bit so we have more time for the second book. So by the end of this weekend, I'll have the reading list about which 5 stories we're going to read. And then same thing for The Righteous Mind. We really will read the whole thing, but I'll have a bi-week schedule for you on that. So for those of you who want to work ahead, and I know a lot of you are busy, so you can schedule that in, right? And let me check my list. Oh, yes. All right, so this is optional right now. We're going to move into it, but everybody had put, here's the topics that I'm interested in. And you get to pick, and not today, which is really nice. And I do want you to, though, start thinking about it, and I've created a discussion to help. So under research and poking around, and I have a link to this on our homepage now, and I'll make sure there's always one like at the bottom, but you can always go to communication, discussion, and then this is close to the top. So, but in poking around, if there's the topics that you've shared that you're interested in, right, here's where you go ahead and put it in the title. And most of our discussions are separated by section. This one I have wide open, so you actually have everybody can see this, so we can get as much ideas as possible. And one thing I want to point out, this is for poking around and looking, not for saying what the answers are, right? Or not trying to convince somebody. So somebody might point out something and say, here's what I want to look at. You might already say, well, here's what the answer is. This is like, here's some stuff to look at. And I'll give you two examples. I put two down. One of them is just kind of fun and I'm really interested in, and I do want to weld and make a 50-foot robot. I actually want, in my head, I've got two different ideas. A sculpture garden, half animals you'd find in Africa, giraffes, elephants, and the other half mecha, right? I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I'm kind of interested in that stuff. So if you've been to Franconia, you got an idea of what I'm talking about. So in this post, I say, hey, here's some stuff that I'm interested in. And then if you, for example, have 5 years welding experience, because one of our students do, you might have some information, some ideas, some thoughts that would be valuable for me. And you just hit reply and say, boom, here's what I've got. We can do links here. I actually have a link to the Forevertron, which is amazing in Wisconsin, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And this is a fun thing that I'm interested in, and who knows, maybe I would want to research it, and this is a way I can start poking around and seeing, hey, can I make this topic work, right? And then the other one, which is more serious, right, is, and this will come up in a second, but because of the work that I do, I am really interested in not teaching work, but I do mentoring for teenage boys, and I'm really interested in the effects of fatherlessness on boys. And then in this post, first you'll read it and you'll see that there's a disclaimer, because when I'm looking at societal stuff, and this is big in generalities, it's generalities, right? So if 60% of a group does this, well, that means 40% of the group doesn't. So don't think that, this is not about making statements about what it absolutely means if your father's not in the picture, or whatever that might be. This is societal big stuff, and there are things that come up. So I've got the little disclaimer in the beginning, and I even shared, these statistics are ridiculous. They're horrible, and this is what I know, and this was from some government stuff, and I have a link to that article, so you actually go see it. So if you've got thoughts, if you've seen a speaker, or you name it, or even have personal experience that you think is related and you feel comfortable sharing, you hit reply to your thread, reply to this, right? And in this way, right, what I'm hoping is over the next month, as we're doing this other work, this can be moving in the background, right? Where you can start thinking about, what, do I want to do global warming, or do I want to do this other one? And you can see, and hopefully what you'll find is, oh man, yeah, this one's okay, but this one has the juice, this one has the energy, right? Yeah, so I call this poking around, because you're not starting your research paper, right? This is sort of you putting on, here are my first thoughts, and then you're getting feedback from the rest of my class, here's my first thoughts, right? So this should be stuff that's just on the top of your mind to help you decide where you want to go. So you can have some fun with this, see what other people are interested in, and it's the poking around section. All right, this was the Saturday bonus. Keep going. Really enjoyed reading your introductions. We've got such a range of awesome fellow students in here from, ages, beliefs, interests. It's going to be fun.